That wasn't as dramatic as I thought it was going to be. What's up guys, Chris and Grizzly here from Vo-Gus Prospecting. Today I'm out on a beautiful little creek on a very cold, wet, miserable winter's day to do some prospecting. I also wanted to use this episode as an opportunity to show you guys the answer to a question I get quite regularly, which is about the monetary value of the gold that I dig up. Gold. It's a funny thing. It's captivated the human mind and attention for thousands of years, and it's been used as money for almost as long. And it's one of those items that you can still dig out of the ground today and exchange for cold, hard cash. But sometimes on my show and many other YouTube shows, it's very difficult to correlate the amount of gold you've got at the end of the day with how much money it is worth. And I think it's cool if we change the way I talk to represent the dollar figure that's actually coming out of the ground. The most common thing I talk about is spec count. When I'm talking about any learning activity in my videos, I usually come back to how many specs I'm getting per pan. And what this is an indication of how much gold I'm going to walk away with at the end of the day. The more gold, the more weight, the more money it is worth. But it is often very difficult to correlate how many specs per pan I'm getting to how much money I will end up with at the end of the day. So instead of specs, let's talk cash, cold hard dollaroony cash. Look at this area. It is riddled with potential spots that gold could fall. Now, think of it like this. Instead of chasing spec counts, we're chasing dollars. If I told you that out here, each of these crevices could have a different dollar amount. This one might have $10 of gold in it. That one might have 50. The big boiler hole over there might have 100. This little drop off might have 10. These cracks might have 25. And where I'm currently working in that bank, maybe there's another $50 worth of gold. It's like picking up cash money off the ground. Huh, 50 bucks, awesome. You can't expect to walk out onto a new creek or even one that you've only been to a couple of times and hit the jackpot. It's very rare that happens, and it's more down to dumb luck than anything. But the more times you go back, the more you'll learn the creek and the better chances you'll have at picking up a good spec count and therefore more dollars at the end of the day. But remember, it's about exploring. That's what prospectors are. We're not miners, we're hobbyists, we're enthusiasts. So taking the time out to actually explore an area and look for the best spec count or the best dollar count is in your best interest. We're never going to make millions of dollars from it. It's very unlikely unless you dig up like a hand of faith or something. But we can make decent cash to put away for some of the expensive buys, maybe a new metal detector, a slew of services on your car. It's within our realms to do that. And here's the difference. 5 specs is worth walking away from on most creeks unless you're getting chunky nuggety bits. But if you can pull out 50 specs per pan on a creek, then you'll be really, really happy that you walked away from that 5 specs. And this is what that kind of looks like. I finally got it. I spent 4 hours and I finally found the $5 note in the crevice. I wonder what's under there. Huh, look at that. Exploring, it's super important, and it could just see you walk away with a huge smile on your face and 50 bucks more in your pocket at the end of the day. That's what we're going to try and do today. We're going to try and find a note. So without further ado, let's get prospecting. Look at that, we've got even more color. That is going to be an absolute cracking little spot, I think. I could crevice some spots out, but it's fun to work something different. This is more of a professional curiosity for me. I think it's here because this looks like an island in the middle of the creek. I feel like this is the old riverbed, and where the river currently is, it looks like it's been diverted to there. When I went for a walk, there was a lot of stonework and whatnot that indicated that they had shifted the actual flow of the creek. So I'm reckoning this might be a bit of an old deposit laid down quite some time ago. Creek, it's turning out to be quite a good deposit. The gold here is ultra fine, but I'm getting a really decent speck count. Look at that. There's about 20 specks of gold in that pan, and that is what we're talking about, because that adds up to dollars at the end of the day. Mine. It's got a seed stuck in the top. Had a slight disaster with a seed getting stuck in there, but I got my pipe cleaner out and we're good. That's a sticks. They're really handy for a lot of stuff. It's still going along red hot. How cool is this? There's about 20 specks of gold or more in there. Still unsure about how much that is actually worth in money. We'll find out at the end. But if it continues like this, all I've got to do is move quantity of dirt. What a cracking little spot to have found. Rinse and repeat. Starting to rain, which is really awesome, because usually if you've got to struggle to get your gold, you get good gold. And something cool just happened because of it. Down here, right there is a crack in the bedrock that's part of this bedrock shelf and this bedrock shelf here, and I'm getting really good gold off the top of it. So I'm thinking that there should be really good gold in that crevice. I've got my spade in there. I'm just going to get my yabby pump and finish it off. Let's find out what's in there. We've got a considerably larger amount of black sand in there than what I had on all the previous pans, and that's because it is out of the deepest point in that crack. Okay, let's get this sorted out. You ready? 3, 2, 1, and sneeze. There we go. About 50 colors in there. That is not too shabby from that little crevice. And it's continuing. It's actually going further off into that bank. So I'm going to keep working just that crevice. That's the only place I'm going to concentrate on and do as much of it as I can. I've got two contradictory bits of advice to give you too. Always keep your concentrates and take them home and go through them again and again, because you will always pick up more gold in them. Point in case here, I just repanned everything and there's one little speck there and about 3 or 4 little nano dots up the top there. However, I'm a big fan of catch and release prospecting, because if I put them back, they will grow to be big, strong speckaroonies, and we'll be able to catch them later when they're nuggets. So, catch and release prospecting, sustainable. This has to be some of the richest pay I've ever got on this creek. Every pan is starting to look just like this. We're getting a really, really decent speck count. And I've got a very big hunch that this was the old riverbed, and that's why no one else has touched it in a very long time. It's not that obvious. I was just very lucky to stumble across it. That is a really cool find. For the last pan of the day, that was pretty damn good. Have a look at that. There's a lot of gold just sitting there for one pan. That was awesome. I've got to take you home so I can weigh it up and talk to you about some of the money and a couple of other things that are going on with the channel. Now that we're back at home, I can talk to you guys about the dollar amount of gold that we got today. First of all, I want to show you a gram of gold. And why is that important? Because most people who buy gold work on spot price. Spot price is basically the price of gold divided by 32 roughly for a troy ounce, and then minus their fees. And currently in Australia, it's running at about $50 per gram that you can sell. This is what a gram of gold looks like. This is 1 gram of alluvial gold next to an Australian 5-cent coin. This is actually a very easy amount of gold to get if you're working the right locations in almost any gold bearing ground. You could pull that out panning in a day, no problems at all. Now the thing is, this and this are exactly the same thing. That small amount of rock is worth one of these, 50 Australian dollars. And that puts it into perspective. I could easily dig that out in a day. I only did about 6 to 10 pans-ish today. I'm going to show you the gold because it looks remarkably similar to what we got in that pan. Remember, sweet cash monies. This is the gold I got today in just 6 to 10 pans next to an Australian 5-cent coin. I want to weigh this so we can find out how much it's worth and translate that into sweet cash dollars. That means this is worth $21 in 6 pans. We're amateur gold prospectors. We're out there for the fun of it. We don't have huge sluices like they have on Gold Rush. And in certain places, you can't even use high bankers in Australia, yet alone dredges and really efficient ways of collecting gold. The best we can really hope for is to hit a nice pocket where we might get a several gram day. Maybe if we're super lucky, you'll hit pocket gold and you might pull out an ounce or two in a short little session. However, those are few and far between, and most likely your bread and butter type of gold is what I got today, almost half a gram or $21 worth of gold. And at the time, it doesn't seem like very much, but I view it very much like a savings account. I put this gold aside, and it means that every time I add to it, it's just like a piggy bank growing in its net worth. And gold is a great staple for keeping wealth. The interesting thing about gold is usually when the dollar goes down, the gold price goes up. It's a store of solid wealth, and that's what happens in a financial crisis. And there are rumors that in the next several years, gold could be tipped to go between $3,000 and $5,000 per ounce, which is, to put it again in perspective, that gold that I pulled out today would have doubled in price. It would be close to $50 $50 for that half gram. All of those little days that you go out and you add your 10, 15, 20, $50 worth of gold to your little kitty will very, very slowly add up to something impressive. This is what 1 ounce of gold looks like. Exactly 1 ounce. It is worth almost $2,000 at the time of filming. It's worth about $1,700 currently, and that is a lot of money for not a lot of effort of just throwing a little bit of rock in a jar. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope it's been both educational, interesting, and quite exciting finding that old little riverbed that I'm definitely going to go back to and explore a whole lot more. There's already been suggestions on my Facebook page to take the high banker out there, and I think that actually might be a genuinely good idea so we can punch a hole right in the middle of that mound of dirt. If you do enjoy my videos, please hit the subscribe button because that helps me grow the channel bigger and better for you guys. A thumbs up and a share also go a long way to helping the channel grow. It's almost the end of June and we're going to do the Patreon draw as well, where you can win one of my books and a jar of pay dirt. So if you want to get involved with that, links in the description. As always, thank you very much for watching. I hope to catch you out there sometime. Peace, and I'm out.